Hello everybody, my name is Ardalan Qilavizadeh. In the previous lessons, I talked about what should we do after purchasing the bulbs, the sort of the bulbs, and in these lessons, I would like to talk about what should we do before flowering. For flowering of the saffron, after purchasing and sorting, we need two shelves for putting the wooden boxes and also access to shelves. We need also the equipment because we have the sixth floor of the shelves. The situation of the shelves is very important. As you can see, the air handling units in the saffron farm for have a suitable aeration, have equal aeration, we need to a plastic duct. As you can see, and also the artificial light, the distance between two shelves, also the hose for aerations, and also you need to suitable equipment. In these lessons, I would like to talk about the equipment, also what should we do and how you can control the environmental factors like temperature, light, CO2 and humidity in this lesson. As you can see, in the majority of the saffron farm, before putting the bulbs, you can see two rows of shelves. The artificial light, you can use the yellow light, the blue light, and the mix of the red and yellow and blue light is the best variety of the light for the flowering of saffron. Before putting the bulbs in the shelf, you should be aware of you control the temperature, the humidity, even in the warm region, because the temperature plays very important role. You should test your room, your farm before putting the bulbs in your main chamber. You should control the aeration, the air handling unit, the humidity and light. After purchasing the bulbs in the summer and also the sorting in the summer, in the autumn, you need to control the environmental factors. In the summers, you should provide the temperature 25 centigrade, at the beginning of the autumn 20 centigrade, and during flowering 17 centigrade, also before that a cold shocking. As you can see, the situation of the light and also the equipment for access to different floor of the shelves. It is very clear and you should control. And also in this video you can see the air handling unit, also a door completely insulated with the panel, because the temperature is very important and we shouldn't allow to wasting energy. And the rule of the chamber is very important. As you can see, easily close and open. And this circle for washing the activity of the workers, the activity of the bulbs, because it doesn't need every time we open or close the door. And this video, air handling unit, the pipes that connected to the chiller and the boiler, it is very important, its rules. And also this is the package. And also after the sorting and the previous lesson that I told you, you need two wooden boxes. And you can see the wooden boxes, the dimension of the wooden boxes 40 by 60 centimeters. And also the made of the wood. The cut wood help us to keeping humidity and the distance between the row of the woods for putting the bulbs. We should consider the wooden boxes. We can use the 40 by 60 centimeters and the height of the wooden boxes is near the 3 centimeters or 5 centimeters. If you want to keep the bulb after flowering, you should consider the height of the wooden boxes 7 centimeters or 10 centimeters. As you can see, putting the bulbs, it is very clear. We should put the bulbs after sorting. That in the previous lesson I told you. Exactly like this, we put the bulbs in the wooden boxes after disinfectant with the fungicide or sorting. Now you can see putting the bulbs in the wooden boxes. Before that we should certain that we can control the temperature. If in the summer we put the bulb of saffron, now we need to 25 centigrade. After putting the bulbs in the wooden boxes, we should wait until beginning of the autumn, and we should also separate the extra peels, and exactly like this we should put the bulbs in the wooden boxes. The extra peels separating that in the previous lesson completely I explained you, and also you should brook, because the sun bulb is completely empty and it doesn't work for growing saffron indoors. Okay. The face of the bulbs should be completely healthy, and we should completely see the bulbs with the patience and step by steps. And with the, for example, if you have the wooden boxes, if you have the bulbs with the 20 grams in the one wooden boxes, and if you have the bulbs with the 15 grams or under 15 grams in the another boxes. The face of the bulb should completely clean, healthy and heavy. The best criteria for wooden boxes. As you can see, this is in my handwriting. It has a extra peels that you should separate the extra peels, and exactly like this in my left hand. It is very clear. And usually in this activity occurs in the end of the summer, putting the bulbs in the wooden box. That is very important for you. Before putting the bulbs, your environment should completely cleanse, completely disinfectant with the best disinfectant. This is sunlight. With the sunlight, your environment, or cookout in 60 centigrade before putting the bulbs in the wooden boxes, because you shouldn't allow to entering any fungal diseases, bacterial diseases to your room. And also you should be careful. Also the workers, the temperature that you need in this time, 25 centigrade, humidity is 60%. The light, we do not need to light in this stage. Also the control of carbon dioxide, it doesn't need. And also the temperature, as you can see with air handling unit. You can see the air handling unit, plastic duct connected to this circular part for having the suitable aeration. Plastic duct exactly connected to this air handling unit. In the air handling unit inside room, we have two parts of the air handling unit. Circular part that I'm explaining about that the up of me, that is the topic, is the top is very clear. The top of me, it is very clear. The circular part, the plastic duct connected for control of the air temperature in 25 centigrade in the summer and 17 centigrade in the autumn. And also this connected to the chiller that provide for you cold air, and also connected to the heater in the cold region like the Canada, like Deutschland, for you warm air. This helps you. Also this part gives you the mix of the air and humidity. It means the air handling unit provides simultaneously humidity and also the best temperature variety that I told you. After sorting, after putting the bulbs in the wooden boxes, everything should be controlled via air handling unit. You shouldn't irrigate directly. You shouldn't giving water. You shouldn't giving any one drop of water. Everything you should control with the relative humidity. If you control in the summer the 60% and autumn 80% to 85%, you should control the relative humidity, not giving any water. It doesn't need even before flowering, during flowering. The all stages of the irrigations is the 3 months of the winter. Also giving fertilizer. It doesn't need even fertilizer. The only thing that is very important in the time of the putting the bulbs in the wooden boxes till flowering, till finishing flowering, the end of the flowering, is you should only control the environmental factors. In the summer 25 centigrade, at the beginning of the autumn 20 centigrade, and before flowering the cold shocking and also during flowering is 17 centigrades. Everything daily in the routine should be controlled. The temperature every day, twice time, and should be controlled. The amount of the CO2 should be controlled. In the summer, you should daily control the temperature, the CO2 in 3000 ppm, and beside this square parts is damper. Is this control help you for having the best CO2? This helps you because in summer you need to 3000 ppm, and in the before flowering and during flowering you need to full of oxygen, and this part help you to having the best CO2. This connected to the air handling unit. Also beside this, only you should connect to plastic duct to the circular part, not a square part. You connect to the plastic duct to the circular part. In this part, in the flowering, before flowering, completely closed, and in the summer should be completely open. And this is after control the environmental factors. This is time the situation and the environmental factors that you need. This time is the one day after putting the bulbs in the wooden boxes. As you can see in my hand, you shouldn't giving any water. Exactly like this. This is a very suitable. I put the bulbs in the wooden boxes, and during these months, because for example in September, as you can see, also this activity is help you for cutting. The some extra pills also help you for appearing the sprouts, the bulbs or teach, because the Iranian name of the sprout is the teach. This is helps you. The activity that you should do before flowering in this time, also keeping the humidity. As you can see, full of the fog, also fog, and also the humidity is very clear, like a steam. We should control this humidity via air handling unit. Air handling unit gives us like a steam, like a humidity, because the bulbs inside the wooden boxes should absorb from the environment, not even water, because the water destroys all bulbs. For this is disinfectant, you need to tufanoate methyl if you want to give, but my recommendations, it doesn't need to even 1 gram of the fungicide. But if you see the fungal diseases, you are forced to using the fungal diseases before putting the bulb. That is very important. After putting the bulbs in the wooden boxes, you are not allowed to giving or using any fungicides or pesticides. All fungicides should use before putting the bulbs inside the wooden boxes. And also, as you can see, the face of the bulbs is very healthy and they are suitable. And this also the pesticides for mites, for pargit, for mites, as I told you, both of them, the fungicide, the tufanoate methyl or propargit, they use for the pesticide. And this is very important. This is the gibberellin. This also help us for having, and we can we can motivate and stimulate the bulbs for flowering. For example, 2 weeks late, 2 weeks earlier, or 3 weeks earlier, or 1 week earlier. We can use for the having the best growth gibberellic acid, as you saw in my hand. Another thing that is very important, you shouldn't allow to penetrating any light in your room. You don't need in this step any light, and also any control of the carbon dioxide. All because in the summer 3000 ppm, at the beginning of the autumn you need to range of the 2000 ppm, and 1 month before flowering you need to range of the 800 to 900 ppm, the full of oxygen. But in this stage, as you can see, we do not have any roots and any leaves. You shouldn't allow any leaves, any roots before flowering and during flowering. All stages. All creating, you should have the leaves or roots after flowering. Before flowering is the big run for you. Therefore, if you want to have the strong flower, you shouldn't allow to creating any roots, any leaves before flowering. But after flowering, because we need to, because the bulb will propagate and we need to light. But after putting the bulbs at the end of flowering, you do not need to any roots or leaves, and you should keep the temperature, and you shouldn't allow to creating any roots and leaves. You should have a best control on the environmental factors. As you can see, this phase of the bulbs, for after putting the bulbs in the wooden boxes in the 1 month, exactly like this. Also the bulbs are sprouts. We do not have any sprout or even buds. When you do not have any sprout or buds, you should keep the environmental factors on the 25 centigrade, and gradually when we close to the autumn, we should decrease the temperature to 20 centigrade at the first months of the autumn and near to September. And we can also, with the oxing or gibberelling, we can have a control of the sprout. Your task before creating the bulbs or flower, only keep the environmental factors. If you purchase the bulbs in the August, from August until the end of the summer, you should keep the temperature of your room 25 centigrade. If you purchase the bulbs of saffron in September, you should keep the bulbs in 20 centigrade. It means every time you purchase the bulbs in the summer, if you want to store the bulbs in your greenhouse, in your chambers, if you are in the summer, you should keep the temperature in the 25 centigrade. And 25 centigrade, humidity 60%, and without light, and also the CO2 is 3000 ppm. When you reach to September, you need to decrease the temperature to 20 centigrade and 50% of the light, and CO2 you need to near to 1500 ppm with the humidity also 70%. This time the buds, you motivate the buds for creating for the bulbs. All of this activity, all of these environmental factors helps you to having the sprout or buds. If your sprout or your bud is to 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, in this stage the temperature should be even lower than the previous temperature. It means the 18 centigrade, 19 centigrade. When the buds or your sprout reach. But if in this video, as you can see, we do not have any sprout, any roots, any leaves, but you should have the sprout or seeds. If you provided for the bulbs environmental factors in the suitable amount, the buds or sprouts gradually will be appear. For example, 1 centimeters, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, and when they reach to 10 centimeters, this time the time of the cold shocking. But for 1 month, exactly the shape of the bulbs like this. The bulbs, and also we do not have the roots, we do not have the bulbs, and the bulbs of saffron inside the wooden boxes. And we should wait for creating the sprouts or buds. Usually 1 month or 3 weeks after creating the buds, we will have the flowering. Before creating their sprouts or bulbs, we do not have need to low temperature. But after creating their bulbs or sprouts, we need to cold temperature, full of light, and also full of oxygen, full of humidity, the near 90%. The full of oxygen means 900 ppm. Full of light means over 1005. And this time, after 1 week the putting the bulbs, this is the October, and the sprouts gradually will be appears. And the